In the heart of rural Missouri, nestled among endless cornfields and a solitary diner, lay Willow County, a quiet place where time seemed to stand still. The sun rose and set with the same predictability, casting golden light on a landscape where neighbors exchanged knowing glances and small talk, where the world outside felt distant and irrelevant. This tranquil existence persisted unbroken for decades. But on August 14th, 2018, an event would shatter the peace, leaving unease lingering in the air. It began just after midnight with a panicked phone call from Jerry Porter, a lifelong farmer who on most nights was more comfortable among his crops than in the company of others. His voice trembled as he spoke into the receiver, breathless and shaken. "I saw lights in my cornfields. I thought it was kids messing around, but something's happened out here." The frantic energy in Jerry's words painted a vivid image of a man struggling to navigate the shadows of his own property. He had never been one for nighttime adventures, but something compelled him to investigate. Gripping his flashlight, heart pounding, he stepped into the dark, the cool night air prickling against his skin. As he trekked deeper into the fields, the beam of his flashlight flickered over the rows of corn, shadows dancing in the wind. Then he saw it. Something lying still and unmoving in the dirt. Approaching cautiously, fear coursed through him. What he had thought to be an injured deer revealed itself as a man, face down and lifeless in the soil. "There's someone here, and he shouldn't be," Jerry gasped into the phone, the words barely escaping his lips as dread settled in his stomach. 15 minutes later, the sound of sirens pierced the silence, and deputies arrived, quickly identifying the body as Brian Hollis, a 32-year-old sound technician from Kansas City, who had vanished just 3 days prior. Brian was known for his peculiar passion, venturing to remote areas and capturing the ambient sounds of nature and decay for audio libraries. His family believed these endeavors harmless, but the circumstances surrounding his death were anything but. The coroner estimated Brian had been dead for less than 12 hours, and his equipment, 3 microphones, a digital recorder, and spare batteries, lay undisturbed beside him. The most unsettling detail? His recorder was still running, a 9-hour audio file ready for scrutiny. Investigators listened intently, hoping for clues. For the first 7 hours, the recording held only the familiar sounds of crickets and wind rustling through the corn. But as the 8th hour approached, a tense shift echoed through the speakers. Brian's whispering voice filled the air, confused and frantic, followed by eerie silence, interrupted only by faint footsteps approaching him. Sudden, then chaotic, and finally, nothing. The sheriff's office, ill-equipped to handle such a mysterious case, contacted the Missouri State Highway Patrol, handing over the recorder for further investigation. In the days that followed, rumors spread like wildfire through Willow County. Some spoke of cults and paranormal entities. Others whispered of rogue intruders, yet investigators focused on the evidence at hand. Tracing Brian's last known location through cell tower data revealed a signal from the vicinity of the old Willow County Community Center, a building locals avoided due to its unsettling reputation. Built in the 1950s and now condemned, it was said to harbor strange noises, qualities that made even the bravest teenagers hesitate. 2 days into the investigation, detectives entered the dilapidated structure, expecting dust and debris. Instead, they uncovered a chilling sight, dozens of Polaroid photographs lining the walls. Random objects like pine cones and old soda cans meticulously pinned in rows. Among them were photographs of Brian, taken from behind as he traversed the county. The final photo depicted him kneeling in the very cornfield where he was found. The realization struck investigators hard. Someone had been watching him. Deepening the mystery, forensic audio specialists discovered that the distorted voice whispering Brian's name was not just one voice, but layers of overlapping tones, as if multiple people whispered together, deliberately keeping their voices low. Days later, a teenage girl named Amy Turner uploaded an eerie recording she captured near her home. Low-frequency hums and faint tapping that sent shivers through the town. As tension gripped Willow County, investigators stumbled upon small piles of rocks arranged into spirals behind the community center, each rock inscribed with cryptic words like "listen" and "follow." All were linked back to the photographs, hinting at a ritualistic pattern that hinted at something far more sinister. The breakthrough came unexpectedly when Dale Richardson, a gas station attendant, recalled seeing a man in dirty overalls purchasing batteries and blank tapes. This hooded figure, always silent and evasive, had never raised alarms until now. Search teams combed the woods again, discovering a collapsed storm drainage tunnel, its insides marked with strange scratches and drawings. Inside, they found a makeshift room filled with empty battery packs and hundreds of Polaroids. A steel lockbox contained cassette tapes labeled "Willow County Master Recordings." Playing the first tape revealed static, followed by overlapping voices murmuring cryptic phrases. "We follow, we listen, we call the quiet ones." Investigators were left questioning the nature of these voices, human or something inhuman. The man behind the tapes was never found, and despite repeated sightings of a hooded figure, he always vanished before deputies could catch him. Months passed, and the unsettling events in Willow County became a part of its folklore. Brian's death remained an enigma, classified as unexplained. Residents learned to avoid the woods after dark, and whispers filled the air whenever the wind rustled through the corn, echoing a name not forgotten. Every year, on the anniversary of Brian's death, new Polaroids appeared at the community center. Fresh, clean photographs of residents, unaware they were being watched. The legacy of the Willow County tapes lingered, a haunting reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be unraveled, and that the shadows sometimes hold more than we dare to imagine. In the small town of Millstone, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, life had always followed a predictable rhythm. But that rhythm shattered one fateful night when a local woman vanished without a trace. It was just another tragedy, or so the townsfolk believed, until the weeks unfolded with dark revelations that transformed whispers into terror. What had seemed like a random act soon unfurled into a meticulously woven tapestry of dread, revealing a predator who knew the town's secrets better than its own residents. Detectives, initially overwhelmed by the mystery, expanded their search beyond the obvious. They combed through mundane financial records and old property deeds, sifting through the remnants of lives that had intersected with the missing woman's. The town, draped in an eerie silence, began to feel like a chessboard, each piece crucial in a game that had been in play far longer than anyone had suspected. Amidst the chaos, an unlikely ally emerged. A retired park ranger named Earl, living in a rickety cabin miles from the bustling town, had been following the case closely. His grizzled hands trembled slightly as he reached for the telephone, his voice steady yet laced with urgency as he relayed what he had seen. For over a year, he had spotted a shadowy figure lingering near the old fire tower, a relic of the past that had long been abandoned. Earl described the figure's restless pacing among the trees, a hunting radio clutched tightly in his grasp, always retreating into the shadows whenever car headlights pierced the darkness. As dawn broke, a team of investigators, fueled by coffee and adrenaline, ascended the creaking stairs of the fire tower. Each step echoed in the still morning air, a reminder of the weight they carried, not just in their gear, but of the lives they were desperately trying to save. When they reached the top, the frigid air bit at their skin, but the sight before them was even more chilling. A makeshift hideout lay before them, revealing the dark heart of the mystery. Blankets, cans of food, and a binder filled with maps, each page marked with cryptic notes and an unsettling precision. What had started as a simple investigation morphed into something sinister. This was not a random occurrence. It was the meticulous work of a hunter, someone who had orchestrated a game of cat and mouse with a disturbing sense of forethought. Fueled by the urgency of their discovery, an emergency task force was quickly assembled. State police, federal consultants, and digital analysts gathered, each bringing their own expertise to the table. With the maps in hand, they began to unravel the timeline, an unnerving pattern that steered deeper into the woods, where only the bravest dared to tread alone. But the breakthrough came unexpectedly. Beneath a loose floorboard in the tower, investigators unearthed a metal lunchbox, its surface rusted but its contents hauntingly pristine. Inside were personal mementos, an abandoned bracelet, a pair of half-broken glasses, a photograph faded by time. Each item stored in plastic bags rigorously labeled with dates and coordinates. A shiver rippled through the team as they pieced together the chilling truth. This was not merely one case. It was a web of horrors spanning a decade, a series of disappearances that had evaded connection until now. The detectives felt a chill run down their spines. This was the work of someone who had meticulously crafted their invisibility. Yet for the first time, they had a trail, a direction that could lead them to the heart of the darkness that had plagued Millstone for far too long. With determination igniting their spirits, they set forth, ready to unmask the shadow lurking amidst the trees. Fueled by the hope that they could finally bring closure to the families left in despair and reclaim the peace of their beloved town,